Hello everyone, welcome back to the HUFTCAST. Today we're with Edem Wornoo, who's a filmmaker. He's worked with many different musical artists as well, such as Santan Dave, McNasty. Today our conversation was more just about life and how our life sort of experiences interlude with our filmmaking skills. So I hope you enjoy the conversation today.
So, Edem Wornoo.
Make sure you can't see my bottle as well. We need to make sure that
Copyright.
there's nothing in there that we're not getting paid for.
This is a guy coming from a music video background, that's why. Commercially minded. Yeah.
I have sugar on me as well.
Yeah, it's cool, bro.
It's fine.
It's cool.
That's
It's for the culture, it's for the young people.
So what?
you know?
You're not seeing the sugar on me?
We just showed them that us big directors, we're humble people, you know, like we live like the rest
Man
of them.
said big directors.
You know what I mean?
I'm
like,
just looking like a bum right now.
we eat Sainsbury's jam donuts too, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
we eat jam donuts from
on the day they go
supermarkets
off, bro.
that
Like,
we
I
will
gave
not
it to
name.
him on the day they go off, and I didn't tell him that, so it's already in his mouth now, so it's cool.
It is what it is.
But yeah,
I guess
we talk about how we get guests on the podcast. This is a podcast all about hustlers.
Okay.
Yeah, hustlers, young
what's it
hustlers.
called?
What is it?
What's it called?
The HUFTCAST. Must say he doesn't even know the name.
Oh,
Disrespectful,
no.
bro.
The podcast. I feel that.
Let me take my phone outside. Yeah, but thingy. Yeah, so the little line is for young creators by young creators. The weird thing is actually, I don't think we've ever actually explained this on the podcast.
Mhm.
Like we
what,
just
what it's about.
yeah, like we just go straight because I feel like this is the least we've ever prepared for a podcast. I'll be real with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I said to them, yo, like as you're walking from bars, yo, let's pop on like Black again just to revise a little bit. But like I can't. I've seen it a lot of times. Like of all of the directors I've seen, I'm just most familiar with your work. Like everybody else, it's kind of been like, let's get this guy because he's really big and I like
Yeah.
this one thing that he did,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
like
yeah.
revise before.
Baiting out our
Yeah,
scheme,
nah.
yeah.
But to be honest, I think it's like a given. You know, people try to have this like image where it's like, oh, this is really planned, coordinated. But yeah, like with this episode, it was more. I think the better I know someone, the more chilled I am about it. That's a dangerous mentality to have.
No, but it's a type of podcast that I like to watch.
Yeah,
Or even like, if you look at like the Breakfast Club, what I love about the Breakfast Club compared to all the other radio platforms is that it just looks like they're people in a room having a talk. Like
yeah,
they sometimes get facts wrong. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I'm seeing Charlemagne, Wikipedia and
this
things.
guy's
There
a
and then.
bro.
In real life, no.
Guy
Charlemagne's
reached
the truth,
guideline,
man.
bro.
But yeah,
I think the best thing about like our podcast is just we try not to give it like a niche or whatever.
Yeah,
They try not to give it a label because for us it could mean something completely different to the listener.
Mm.
I feel like
yeah,
someone else who's listening to it could be gaining way different, like lots of different things to what we gain from it.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like we shouldn't be like, this is what it's about.
Mhm.
This is what you're gonna take from it.
yeah.
Say,
Because
you're gonna
like,
take a lot from it.
yeah, and like, because if you look at it, every single guest that we've had has been like a filmmaker who makes a kind of specific type of films. But really, and also like Huff Media, a lot of people come to me like, what is Huff Media? Like, because I don't really think we've ever properly established it. It's a production company,
Yeah.
but we're more, I don't know, we're a production company hasn't got a single film out, you know, like, so
Right.
everything that we do is kind of just like trying to bring value to whoever's got like that interest, but we're trying to like expand it beyond like just creatives and like my student athlete basketball friends, they like the shit, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to like do an interview with like young Chelsea Academy prospects,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
and like I want to do an interview
Yeah.
with like just random people, but make it relevant, you know.
Yeah, that's like our posts. Like we post things. Like, the other day, like I posted something about Mason Mount,
Mhm.
and he was saying like, he's like, oh, when he was in school, like a policeman came into his school or whatever, and he's like, I want to, like the policeman's asking him, well, what do you want to do with your life? He's like, I want to be a footballer.
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, everyone wants to be a footballer. And it kind of linked to like, you know, whenever I was going to BFI or whatever, don't want to bait out BFI, but like, they're like, yeah, everyone wants to be a director. Everyone wants
Right.
and then it's almost like they're telling you to change your life based
Yeah.
on what everyone else is doing with theirs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I like those sort of things. Like
I think the
Everyone has
footballer
that
one's
mentality.
mad. The footballer one is mad, and that's I guess it's a whole study in itself, because like everyone in the UK does want to be a footballer
Yeah.
in real life, and in terms of like the way that we look at it, it's like you're a footballer if you make it to the Premier League. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Or you're a filmmaker if you get a film out in cinemas, for
Yeah.
example. But like, really and truly, if you love football, playing in a Sunday league team or whatever level you're at, do you know what I'm saying? It's still, you're still a footballer.
Mhm.
If you're making a
Exactly.
film
Yeah, yeah.
and I drop a film that I love, whether it gets 5 views, 5 million views,
Mm.
1 billion views, I'm still a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And I think when you have like the barometer that you're not a footballer unless you're in the Premier League, it's hugely problematic,
Yeah.
because so many people don't make it to the Premier League,
Yeah.
and it's like they feel like they're a failure. Do you know what I'm saying? But the
Yeah.
fact that you're able to do what you love, you have lungs that can carry you 90 minutes,
Yeah.
you've got
Yeah.
legs, you've got arms, you've got a brain that can, you know what I'm saying, play football. Bro, you're living the dream.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think like also it's because like the way that we make our decisions in life and in society is based on, do they meet the expectations of other people?
Mm.
So it's like, I want to be a footballer, and it's like, cool, that you've just set yourself out to be like, I want to be this type of footballer, this
Mm.
type of person. And that's why like when in college, I'm a director, or if I meet someone, I'm a director, my teacher's like, nah, you're an aspiring director.
Yeah.
That's because they have this fixated image of what it means to be that thing.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like, whereas if we just lay back and say like, right, my sister making TikTok, she's as much as a director as I am. you
Yeah.
know? Like, and this kid who just loves football with all of his heart, he's also a footballer.
Yeah.
We're like striving to achieve a label. We're not even trying to achieve like the actual contentment with that thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think your TikTok example is really good, because it's kind of it's the epitome of the democratization of filmmaking now. Because back in the day, when everyone shot things on film, for example, you wouldn't be able to actually even make films like us. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have a phone, you didn't have a DSLR, you didn't have these, you know what I'm saying, accessible cinema cameras. But now everything is to the people. I could make a whole film, a feature film on my phone. People do that. It's in films that are in cinemas
Yeah.
that are shot completely on iPhones.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so there is actually no barrier to you wanting to do whatever you want to do nowadays.
No, yeah, I think as well, like people saying, like telling you to be to say aspiring, is something that they're trying to deal with.
True,
Yeah,
true.
Trying to push it on other people
Yeah.
to make themselves feel better.
Yeah,
That's how I think it was in like well, I've had it in some cases, but I feel like Rouse has experienced that I've seen a lot more than me. Could link to something else, but I think it is like a lot to do with themselves. Like I was saying this to your dad last night. It just comes from, I guess, ignorance. When you see who you are and what you really are compared to the other things, then you just take yourself less seriously and everything else more serious. And then the other people who don't see that put themselves in this place where it's like, it's me. Just like, I don't know how to explain it, but just thinking about themselves too much and what makes them feel happy.
Yeah.
Really, they're so far from what really makes them happy.
That's deeper.
I'm trying to see, like, is this recording the right microphone? I hope it is.
Oh, well, I wasn't seeing mad spikes on my thing. Testing.
That says USB. I'm just looking at Harvey's levels.
Mine's working.
You're just okay. You just because on Edem's, yeah, the waves are going like mad, yeah. And then on yours, I think it's just your voices.
I think probably.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry for that little interruption. We'll cut that out. But that was deep what you just said. That was Khalid Khalad got in your brain, bro.
I can't lie. That conversation in itself just changed
Yeah.
a lot of what I do now. Like ever since that conversation with him,
We should explain to Edem like what.
basically.
Yeah, wait, before that, Harvey, how old are you, by the way?
18.
18?
Yeah.
Bro, you got tats on that.
Yeah.
Explain.
Wait,
is that a skateboard?
Yeah.
Man
That's
made a
what
whole
you do
documentary
scootering.
about it. We're gonna premiere it to you, big Mr. Big Director. Yeah.
What, do more?
This guy got
Do more.
rejected from how many festivals?
I think it was
Every single
17.
one. 17. Yeah. We just like
For
the
what?
last one is
Nah,
like
it's
here.
not.
We're just like.
What's the what for? What?
I made a documentary about my friend Ellis, who
Okay,
is a tattoo artist.
okay,
He's done all my tattoos.
yeah.
He did
Mad thing, another one.
all my tattoos.
But you got a skateboard
Yeah,
and you do scootering.
I do everything.
Okay.
Scootering, skateboarding.
I thought there was beef between the. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the whole point of like what
The
our film
movie.
is about. But,
Yeah. So you got a skateboard though? Do you have a scooter as well?
I'm gonna get one probably. I don't know though.
This is mad.
I got all my tattoos when I was 17 though.
Bro, it's like you being in one gang and getting a tattoo from another
Yeah.
rival gang, bro.
Maybe that's like you're breaking the
It's
barriers.
my Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel you.
Yo,
I feel
low-key,
you.
we need to bring Edem with us to Australia.
No, I'm down.
Yeah,
Bro,
you
that's
down to
actually a
fly out,
cold
bro.
idea, fam.
I'll fly out.
That's
bro.
a cold... Because, you know, yeah, it's actually so much cheaper to make this film than people think. Like, people are like, rah, you better just making a feature film like that.
Mm.
And it's like, your flight is £600, and we just paying for our own flights. He's got a friend who he can stay with,
Yeah.
and we're just going to go there for 2 weeks. The rental for the kit is like, 4K for
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And we just saved that up over I've just started as a delivery driver, bro. Can you imagine?
Is it?
Yeah, and like
What
he's-
do
It's
you?
about the humble beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah. What? So what? How do you deliver?
it's actually
On a
better.
bike or on
Yeah.
a scooter?
I got a new single speed bike, brick lane bikes. Yeah, proper hipster shit. Yeah,
What's a single speed bike?
yeah.
What's that?
You know what it is? You know those
No
like
brake.
hippie bikes you see in brick lane, like they're like bare, like stripped down, and it's just like the frame of the bike, and like they have those cool rims, those coloured
No, I
rims.
ain't even seen that
I'll show you.
still.
We need like the Joe Rogan thing where they get the picture up on the
Yeah,
phone.
word. Insert a picture here
Yeah.
of the bike.
Nah, the picture's on the screen right
I
now.
should have a photo of him.
Look.
Like,
6K. I've got a picture on my camera roll.
So you got the big backpack and that.
Look at this film.
yeah.
That's the bike.
That's
Just
a hard
literally
bike
got it
still.
the other day. And
That's
it's
a hard
cold.
bike. That's
It's not
looking
even that
clean.
Like the whole
for
outfit
bikes.
as well.
Yeah, so I registered, and
It's
registered.
got the green thing on as well. So
Yeah.
it matches your whole.
Mm.
I feel it. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah.
You registered.
So like, I think I just semi-registered for Deliveroo just to get the backpack. Not the backpack. Why would I get the backpack? But the jacket.
The jacket.
The phone
Jacket,
holder. It gives me a
phone
phone holder for my bike. Yeah.
Okay.
And what's the other
Helmet.
thing? And the helmet. Because I was gonna buy a helmet and a phone holder anyway, and I've
Yeah.
got them for free now.
True.
So, and I probably will do Deliveroo as well. And you can make a decent amount of money on
Yeah.
it. But yeah, anyway, back to Australia. Yeah. We're getting
Yeah,
distracted.
the way we're getting the money is like so. I've been working in Nando's in Twickenham for 2 years now, maybe a bit
Mhm.
longer. So like every week I'm just working like 40 hours, just trying to
Mad.
I save all that money. So I've been working like last week I was in Kingston because Twickenham weren't giving me enough hours
Right.
to earn the money for the budget.
Yeah.
So they sent me to Kingston. I was doing like 40 hours in Kingston or 45 hours in Kingston.
Mm.
And then this week I'm doing like 30 hours Kingston and Twickenham just to get the budget. And like my friend from Seattle as well, he's coming to like he's a producer, he's mad. Like
He's a beat
big up
producer,
Sam.
bro.
Like
He's
Okay.
cold. Yeah,
cold.
he's cold.
Like,
Let's,
he did a song.
I'm gonna play it right now.
No,
Run a
no,
beat.
can't
This is
play it
tiny
now.
snippet, yeah. Tiny snippet.
Ah,
yeah?
what? You're gonna leak man's song, bro?
Yeah,
That-
you can't do
okay,
it.
That's the mad thing.
I'll play it. I'll
Play
play
it
it
after.
after, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the intro song to like the montage of this film,
Mm.
and it's like,
Ooh.
you know, have you seen La Hen?
Nah, I haven't watched
The black.
it. bro.
Oh,
I feel bad.
Spike
I know.
Lee. Yeah, like
but
do the
I
right
watched
thing
it.
type montage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Do the right thing.
I don't know. Like
I
it's,
don't remember one part of it.
the stylist. I mean, there's no breakdancing, but like.
Oh yeah,
just-
the breakdown.
Yeah. But yeah.
Long intros.
Yeah, it's intro like driving past the skate parks in Melbourne. It's all run down. There are a few skaters, and they're like fighting with the scooter riders. They see the car go past, and like, "Oh mate, fuck you!" You know? All this type of shit. Like, "What you doing, mate?" And it's like all this stuff.
The thing is with Australia, like the whole thing of like the scooting, skateboarding thing is, I don't even know how to explain it. Like scooters or scooter rider, I don't even know the actual like term.
Yeah.
Scooter riders and like BMXs get on well, like
Okay.
because it's like a thing where a BMX would come up to you, like, "Yo, can I ride your scooter?" And be like, "Yeah, can I ride your bike?" Because you can do the same tricks. I can throw a bar spin, tail whip, a backflip on a BMX, and a skateboard.
That's a
sorry,
backflip
Yeah,
on a BMX.
Oh yeah, and then a BMX rider can do it on a scooter. The
Yeah.
skateboard it's like sometimes like, I do skate as well, and people just it's like little kids getting in the way or whatever, and then it turns into this whole thing where every scooter rider is like some next homophobic term. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mm.
And like certain things where I was riding home from school, and like people would drive by in a van and just call me F word.
Yeah.
Like,
But you know what, bro? Do you not feel like, everyone's jumping on the scooter thing now? Like, literally
Yeah.
everyone has a scooter
Everyone's
now.
on the
It's
electric
so-
scooter
It's
thing, bro.
so sick though because like I know like what's that highlights, but you're always sending like videos into the group chat. And it's like Well, that was my guy back in the day.
Right,
It's
right,
like,
right.
all these people, I don't know if you know what El Toro is.
El Toro.
It's like the biggest stair set in the world. It's in California. It's like a 21 stair, and like
What just a stair that people stairs that people ride down?
It's
and
a
that?
massive. It's quite a historic like
Skating.
sport.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And like,
Have you been there?
no, it's in America. I've never been,
Okay.
but like one of my friends did a backflip over it the other day.
Okay,
Gary
wavy.
V posted a video of one of my closest friends. From
Mad.
It's crazy because it's like it's really coming together, and like I know it's gonna make people mad to see a scooter film. Like it made people mad when they saw like scooting being at a skate park more, or scooter like a skate park being called a scooting park. That's
Okay.
Because people were like, it's called a skate park for a reason. That was the one thing everyone used to always say. It's like, this skate park was made by skaters and only skaters can ride in it.
Yeah, and the reason the film is so interesting to me is because you have all that surface level beef, and you look deeper in like psychology behind it. The reason why someone would have that issue. This is a skater park built by skaters, and like scooters are this type of like the demonization of them. It's exactly the same as like the colonial mindsets that we have nowadays, which have been used to villainize races. And like to like perpetrate violence against peoples en masse.
Yeah. And I think it's one of them ones where it comes from a place of, yo, I've got this community and these are my people. So everyone else that's not a part of my people they're not gang basically. So then these people feel marginalized and they create their own marginalized group, and this group creates their own marginalized group. But really and truly, everyone's just seen, like, to me, from the outside in, bro, if you're on a BMX, if you're skating, if you're rollerblading, whatever you're doing, bro, if you're on the skate park, you're skating to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like you man all get along. This is the first time hearing that there's beef within the skate park.
Yeah.
So yeah, from the outside in, it's just like it should be blessed.
Yeah. It's a whole like world as well. It's like when sometimes I don't do parkour, but like Arthur, he's like sick, and you obviously do parkour growing up, and it's quite similar as well. There's some similar things in like the parkour community to the scootering and skateboarding community. Like
I'm gonna make a mad link right now. I'm gonna make this all full circle. I'm gonna do some crazy. You're not gonna believe what I'm about to do. Yeah, that is.
You hype this up, man.
Relates.
You gotta do something crazy, bro.
It's gonna be underwhelming. That relates perfectly to the music video which you directed, Black.
Yeah,
in a way, yeah.
You
know the way you're saying, like, from the outside, you look at a skate park, you just think they're all the same. They all get along with each other.
Yeah.
Why are they fighting? It's the exact same where you like what you Dave talks about in Black, you know, in that music video.
Yeah.
Like how from the outside, Black is just like, what's that line? Black's not a fucking colour, there's shades to it.
Yeah.
Like from the outside, people will just see black.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's shades to it. There's differentiation. There's cultural nuances and things going on inside which you wouldn't be aware of on the outside.
Yeah. And I think like that's when it comes to conversations, particularly to do with race, particularly to do with like what I speak about, which is like black issues, African diaspora issues. It comes twofold. There's two conversations happening. There's the external discrimination, and then there's the internal disputes that happen within, for instance, like shadism, so on and so forth. And I think like it's important to have these conversations in the right places, because I think the internal conversation is an internal conversation to be had amongst black people within black people. It's like if I can relate it to something, it's like, yo, there's the situation of police brutality, for example, or hate crimes against black people where black people are killed, and then the news reporter is going to draw for, but yo, there was this many black on black crimes and stuff like that. And it's like, you're talking about two separate issues that need to be conversations had in two different places. So I think like it's a very interesting and very complex discussion. And it's very similar to, I guess, like what in your scooting film, skating film.
Yeah,
it's gonna be that to me feels like an internal conversation that I may have never seen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's always interesting, because it's not surface level. It's something that it's like, that's a new story within something that I've seen from the outside in. Yeah. But yeah.
And we had this really interesting conversation with some friends who were here last night about, because I really didn't think anybody thought this apart from me. But in the same way, like you're talking about how people will, like there'll be things going on inside the black community and people need to address those things, and like the ignorance that people have on the outside, and then people will use these other things like, oh, but these things do happen. The same way. Anyway,
How do you lot edit it? Do you do like
in the bedroom?
Yeah, in Harvey's bedroom.
No, I mean, do you guys just like? Is it like? Do you try and keep everything in, or you just take bits and thing?
Nah, it's pretty unfiltered.
Yeah, when we're doing it on Zoom, it's pretty much because we don't need to do
It's a
anything.
raw call.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that people edited podcasts, you know. Like someone told me that I edit podcasts, and I was like, "What do you mean edit?" And then I started listening to it. I can hear edit sometimes.
Right.
But I didn't know people did that, and I don't like that, to be honest. I prefer to hear a raw conversation.
I hear it.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me finish this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking with our friend last night, and they were telling me it's so bad how like right now pretty much every film they've seen about Muslim people is like a specific type of film, where it's like someone's being oppressed,
someone's being
and by Islam, and they need like white Western European civilization to save them somehow, and then the argument will be used when you say like, well, why there not any more Muslim films? People will be like, yeah, you do have them. Look there, you know. And it's like, the thing is that like, and when you say like that's not what everyone in the Muslim community is like, they'll be like, oh yeah, but that does happen. And I'm like, yeah, bruv, people use the exact same argument. If you use that exact argument against black people, it'll be an outrage, you know. Like if you made all these like black exploitation films now, and you said, oh yeah, but there are pimps and drug dealers and people who kill people and black on black violence, and if you use that and said, they use that as a way to excuse making films, all your films about those type of people, then people would like be like, the fuck, you can't do that. But when it comes to Muslim people, I feel like, you know, it's a bit neutralized, you know. No. So it's weird talking about like the scooter and black people, Muslim people, like every group of people is at their own stage in that discussion in a way.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, I wouldn't say mine was like scooting and skating is as bad.
Yeah.
But it's a similar sort of conversation.
Yeah, I can't lie, they're completely different walks of life, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's I guess what that is, this is mad interesting, bro. Is that sign language?
Yeah, my mom's deaf, you know.
Really?
Yes, she's deaf, so she's an artist. This is all her art here. Yeah.
Mad thing.
And so she's like,
not the Windows stuff.
By profession, that's my sister. She's an art psychotherapist, and she done that for ITV. So like, you know, like in between the channels they have.
I think I've seen this. You made a film. Did you make a film about this, or you just reposted it?
I reposted it. Okay. But it's made by like a production company and stuff. But yeah, so this is her art. Yeah, it's all about being deaf and
That's
Asian.
my
and
favorite
stuff.
one.
It's pretty cool.
I think it was the first one I ever saw though. I really like that one.
Yeah, this is wavy. So
put it on the podcast right now.
Yeah. I'll insert photo.
Insert photos and the link to buy them.
Yeah, bro.
Get the money up.
This is the opportunity to talk about how scuffed this podcast is actually, because I wanted to tell that story about how this happened. Oh yeah. So imagine, for the last 24 hours we've had all the equipment in the house. They've been here. We've been ready.
We've had it here for like months.
Yeah, like we've been ready. We just haven't touched it. Yeah. And then we was like, it's fun when it comes to it. We'll set up. Yeah. And then like 1 hour before, I'm like, yeah, let's set it up. And I would have waited longer actually, but they pressured me.
Yeah.
So we start setting it up on just one Mac, and we plug all of them in, and it just turns out apparently you can only record one USB mic on one Mac. And I was like,
oh, what? So did you guys just split a thing?
Yeah, no. So we tried everything on just to keep it on one Mac, but it just wouldn't work. So then I was like trying to find.
Oh,
software.
mad! This is recording this.
Yeah. So we had these. That's work laptop.
Yeah, so that's me
from the NHS for my mum. That's a work laptop, like my mum's personal laptop, tablet type thing.
Yeah.
And I've just got downloaded Audacity on all of them, and somehow they're all recording at the same time.
That's wavy.
And we have to sync it up, bruv. But this was the last minute.
It's gonna be a long editing.
Yeah, like this was really like.
This will be interesting.
Just about worked, but it's mad.
I hope we're giving the people the juicy content that they need for all of this effort. But at the same time, bro, the fact of the matter is, this is so funny because having a normal conversation with me, bro, there's not really much directional juicy content. Because at this moment in time, I'm absolutely fixated on these waves that my voice is making.
Keep looking at them, bro. We'll put them on the screen, bro. But keep on putting shit. Look, we're just banging it out. This is the first videoed episode, and now we're like, yeah, we'll put this on the screen and this. And
This is the mad thing.
Archie's
Yeah.
looking at it like
Really,
crying.
like,
He's looking at us like this. That's not gonna
How long
happen,
are we
bro.
into this, by the way?
It's been about, I'd say, like,
First one's half
26
an hour.
minutes.
26 minutes.
Yeah.
It's only 26 minutes.
only thing.
This is what happens when we don't structure it. Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Let's shift to intellectual gear. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question as well, though,
Yeah.
for you, Razla. Do you listen to Jay Electronica? And what do you think of his?
The music man is behind the camera, bro. Your Jay Electronica man is
Is
behind
it?
Like,
you feeling the?
See,
You like Jay
He's not a
Electronica?
massive
This,
fan.
You're not a
is,
fan?
Well, I've never listened. I think I've heard a verse of his and I
Yeah.
liked it,
Yeah.
and I think I heard some stuff about Islam or
You
something.
mentioned it
I
before.
thought it was Islam, and then I
Yeah.
started hearing like Nation of Islam type stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, raw.
But to you, so yeah, so to you, Nation of Islam isn't Islam.
Yeah, I mean, like Malcolm X.
Is this a mad conversation to have?
Yeah, no, Malcolm X.
Is it
was-
technical? You don't have to answer
Nah,
if
it's
you don't.
cool,
Alright,
it's
cool.
But like, I mean, even they would say it, I think. But like Malcolm X even believed this, yeah.
Mhm.
I'll call him Malik, yeah, because his name is Malik, yeah. But Malik, he believed. Well, he basically was part of the Nation of Islam, and the Nation of Islam's belief, to my knowledge, has evolved and changed over the years.
Mhm.
So in the beginning, it was like a man named Wallace Defard came, and he claimed to be God, and he spoke to Elijah Muhammad, who's this guy who's the prophet, and he taught some people. Then he disappeared off the face of the earth, and then Elijah Muhammad became the prophet, started the Nation of Islam, started recruiting people. A lot of people converted in prison, stuff like that. Reformed the black community in America at the time, and Malcolm or Malik was the guy who was the forefront of it.
Mhm.
He received like a really like hyper levels of fame, and then obviously like he discovered some corruption within the Nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad's like, I guess, disingenuousness
Mhm.
in like what he was doing, like breaking a lot of his own rules and whatnot.
Mhm.
And he at the same time started his own personal journey to understand like Orthodox Islam.
Mhm.
And so in doing that, he like traveled around the world. I think he went to Pakistan, big up. Went
Shouts
to
to
Ghana.
Pakistan.
He
Shouts to Ghana.
he done his thing in Ghana. Went to Saudi and
It's in the film, isn't it? That part.
yeah.
Yeah.
You need to watch. I'll give you the Blu-ray if you want. Or
Is
have you
that my
got it?
house?
Oh fuck! But you need to watch that, bro. It's a
Yeah, there's
cold
ways to
film.
watch things nowadays.
Yeah.
It might be on Netflix though, to be fair.
I
Yeah,
think it is in America. I tried to use VPN and.
yeah.
watch
It's
it
a
in
pretty
America.
hard to get a hold of film here.
Mm.
But yeah, so it's a good film. But yeah, so he basically found Orthodox Islam and realized, I guess, that was the way for him. And yeah, so and then since then, his relationship obviously kind of became distant with the Nation of Islam. Some
Yeah.
things happened, and a lot of people believe that they killed him.
Mhm.
And then from there, like there's been after Elijah Muhammad died, people have succeeded him, and as they've succeeded him, their beliefs have kind of like evolved.
Mhm.
And now that I think they're at the stage where like black people are God, and obviously the white man's still the devil. Peak for you, man. And then I think white people like in their belief were created in like by a science experiment by like a guy, and yeah, fair enough to people who believe that.
Mhm.
But
So that's what it wasn't. So the other name for it is it 5%?
no, 5% is different. That was what Khalik Allah is.
Okay, that's
But we
what I
Really?
thought.
It's actually so funny you
I
mentioned
thought
this.
5%ers were the same as Nation
Yeah,
of
that's what
Islam.
thought.
I think it's like
It's like an offshoot.
yeah, it's like a sect. It's like a sect of a sect. Yeah. But it's so actually weird you mentioned this because our last guest was a 5%er.
Okay.
He's like an OG 5%er as well.
Is he black?
Yeah, Khalik. He's like half
Okay.
black, half Iranian,
Okay.
and his name is that's the thing. 5%ers they literally take like God's name. So his name is Khalik Allah. Khalik in Arabic, or people in America call him Khalik, but Arabic was Khalik,
Mm.
and it means creator, and then obviously Allah's God. So his name is Creator
Creator
God. Yeah,
Mad thing.
and like
I can't lie, that's a hard name.
yeah, I know it's pretty bad, man. But astaghfirullah. Yeah. Anyway, that was a big bloody
Did you have a conversation about that?
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he taught us a lot though.
Yeah.
A lot. Insane. Like this guy
Probably
is
the most intellectual person. I've
next
ever
level
heard.
wisdom.
Mad thing.
Yeah.
because you know the whole of Wu-Tang Clan, they're like all 5%ers.
Yeah.
And they're like OG 5%ers, yeah?
Yeah.
He was like their protege. Like
Okay.
so he was their tour photographer and stuff.
Yeah.
And they taught him all of their wisdom or whatever. He's made documentaries about them
Mhm.
and he makes his own stuff now and he's getting quite big.
He is big.
Yeah, he is
He's
big,
one of
yeah.
my favourite
Yeah.
filmmakers.
And yeah, me too.
Is he a documentary filmmaker?
Yeah. You need
Okay.
to watch he's one film called Black Mother.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's-
And to be honest, the other one, Fields, you'll love it, fam.
yeah.
Right.
You'll love it, fam. I'm telling you. But yeah,
Are they features?
yeah, featured documentaries. And his style
Black
is so
Mother's
unique.
Pretty much just about like I get. He would say like raw Jamaica, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he goes back to Jamaica,
Mhm.
his mother's homeland, and like goes on a spiritual journey. I
Yeah.
don't think he's a 5%er anymore. Actually, I think he's just like ambiguous.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've taken a long trip to basically say Jay Electronica is a Nation of Islam guys. I believe like still to this day like hard on it. Yeah, and like so yeah, I haven't listened to as much of it, but he sounds like a pretty good rapper.
Yeah, he's a good rapper. So there's some mixed reviews about his album
Is it?
that he doesn't rap on it enough as well.
Yeah, it was pretty much a Jay-Z album with some
Jay Electronica features.
basically.
Yeah. But I
Jay-Z album, man, if it was a Jay-Z album.
yeah, and I think like I do like the way that he incorporates his spiritual beliefs into his music as well. I think like a lot of the time, I think that's something that a lot of rappers probably shy away from.
Or artists as well in general.
Artists in general. And yeah, it's cool to hear it. I think it's different, do you know what I'm saying? It's good to learn about the person behind the music.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I like the parallels in his faith and in his struggles and how he puts both of those in plain view, like because his story is that he came out like almost a decade ago with some flame songs. He released maybe 3 songs officially.
Yeah.
In those 10 years, there's only been like leaks that have come out, no real songs. Everyone's waiting for this album. He drops this album, bro, and it's like, where have you been?
Yeah.
And on top of that, 67% of the album is Jay-Z, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It's tough, it's rough, but at the same time, when he has those moments where he's talking about, yo, this is my faith and this is what I believe in, but at the same time, bro, like I've been going through this, I find it interesting.
Yeah, bro. And the beautiful thing about music for me is that it's such a personal medium.
Yeah.
Like with film, sometimes it gets a bit detached.
Yeah.
Like, or at least for the viewer, they can't just put the dots together. Like,
100.
Like I think sometimes.
I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
I was saying like, sometimes I want to be a musician just so I can just say, just like explicitly, just be like, this is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But then I do prefer like this film I'm writing at the moment has taken me on like some next journey of like, you know, seeing what life is truly about. And like that's what I kind of like more about film.
Yeah.
But I do like sometimes I think like I wish I could just write this down and just like
say it.
That's how I feel right
but
now.
this is also the beauty of film, because you can actually, if you're not really on it like that, you can actually hide behind characters, for example. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could be going through something, I could make a character say it, no one's gonna pull up to me tomorrow and be like, yo, are you okay? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not directly saying this.
Yeah.
There's no disconnect between the artists and the characters that they play in their songs, which is why rappers are getting convicted for things that they say in music and stuff like that, innit?
And the mad thing is like, I think it opens you up to so much judgment as well. Like when you do this, like, so for example, if you made Spitting Feathers my film, no one would ask any questions, even if that wasn't how you felt. But like, if I make some of the films that I want to make, people ask you a lot of questions just because they expect that. I feel like people interpret film in a way like they interpret music.
Okay.
Whereas I don't think they're meant to be interpreted the same way. You know, like you look at the way people look into a character or a story and associate that with the person making it. It's so different. It's such a different way in like which you're meant to. You know, I feel like someone might look at your characters and be like, I don't get how that's relevant to you. But the fact is that you're expressing that thing which you need to get out of you, and like it's therapy, you know.
But yeah, I would say like all my different characters are different parts of me. So like there are some characters who are on some sort of spiritual journey, and there are some characters who are ignorant, like that pass me, and then me now, or like even in Who Owns the Spot, like that bit of the skater energy that they have. That there's for anyone who doesn't know, like the Scooter Skate film, that kind of is me, because like I have thought that sort of thing, like where I get to the skate park and I look at other skaters, scooters, or now skaters, I look at a skater and go, oh, fuck's sake, like now I'm just gonna have a shit day. Really, like I always say, you can't judge anyone if you don't know every single day of their life. And there's only and then I ask the second question is, who knows every single day of their life? And
bro, I don't know every single day of my life, bro.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I can't tell you what I did this week.
Yeah.
I just appeared
but
here.
no one. The thing is, like, no one. It's impossible for anyone in this world to experience every single thing that you've done that has led you to this point where you are sitting on the sofa. Same for me, same for others, same for Archie.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it. So I can't judge anyone because I don't know. Like I heard I want to say Peter Clarkson, is that his name? The guy who's in the Five Bloods.
Okay. Yeah.
He was doing an interview about the passing of Chadwick Boseman, and he's saying like when he first met Chadwick Boseman on the set of the Five Bloods, he was saying like, yeah, when he finished the set, like when he finished the shot or whatever take, he would walk off and he had people massaging him, and his wife was there holding his hand. So he was like, yeah, I thought
He was a diva.
Yeah.
Basically.
But it really,
That's deep.
he was going through something so hard, like which no one knew about.
Yeah.
And that sort of just tells you, like, you can't even think anything of anyone. You can't expect anything from anyone.
Yeah.
Because you don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
You might know that they can be a dickhead sometimes, or they can be really nice to you. You honestly, like, you don't know anyone. That's why it's so good to have no expectations for anything or for anyone. Yeah.
You're right.
That's just how
that's real. And I think when you have that perspective, you have empathy for other people. You're less quick to judge as well. You make more excuses for other people to be able to, I guess not initially jump to the negative. Like, do you know what I'm saying? This guy's an idiot because of whatever. You actually go to, I don't know what kind of a day bro's had.
Yeah.
For him to be acting like that or whatever. That's mad cool.
And it's so rare to like actually find people who have that like level of what's the word, like level-headedness, you know? Like when I meet people who are like, something mad will happen and their just reaction will just be like compassion and understanding. That is crazy. In this day and age, there's barely any people like that, you know? But that is like ultimate qualities, you know? Like to have something happen to you, and first thought is to like try and understand why that other person was going through that. That's next level. And a lot of people just are not bothered to put up with that. You know, we live in like this individualistic society where it's just like, fuck you, I don't like, that's a you problem. You know, what you done to me, you just caused me a problem, and that's what you're gonna have to deal with.
Yeah. And I think that is that a lot of that might actually be the natural human reaction, but every day we kind of just need to endeavor to move further away from that and become more compassionate and more thoughtful. Yeah. So, because equally, like for the person that does react like that, I also need to have empathy for them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because maybe, and this is something that I think about a lot, because with what I get to do and the reason that I do what I do is because I've had enough time and space and I haven't had to think about my immediate needs enough to sit down and think, how do I feel?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I think, what do I think about this? I can think about existentialism and theology and psychology, but somebody that is thinking about where am I going to eat? Where's my, like, where am I going to sleep? They're not thinking about, like, what do I think of creation and blah, 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 because, like, I just need to eat. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a level of privilege for us to even be able to say, I'm compassionate about this because I need to be empathetic because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think then for me, that's my responsibility to then, for someone that's maybe not there and maybe not thinking that way, for me to then say, okay, I need to empathize with you because you may not have been afforded the same privilege as me.
Yeah. It's mad. And also I feel like some of the questions which we spend our lives pondering over become a lot more simple when your question is, where am I going to eat? Like, where am I going to eat? And then you put existential questions across your mind and you're like, that's the answer. Boom. No need to think about that again, you know? I feel like, in a way, we're like a society, it can be good, it can be bad, but we're encouraged to either spend too long thinking about something, whether that's productive for us or not.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah. I want to ask you, why and how did you get into filmmaking?
Yeah.
And what sort of age was it like? Did it click for you? And what was the kind of base? It's a good story, to be fair. Well, I say it's good. Okay. I'll leave it to the people to decide their own opinions on it. But basically, when I was younger, probably still to this day, I struggled with reading, but it was because it was undiagnosed dyslexia.
So my mum would send me to the library to get real books, chapter books.
Yeah.
And I'd struggle to read them, and I'd always come back with comics. And this is like where my love of comics started, etc., etc. But I'd always come back with comic books to the point where my mum actually banned me from going to the library on my own, and I always had to go with someone to make sure that I'd get the proper quote-unquote books and bring them back and read them and stuff like that. And so when I was no longer able to get comic books, I started making my own comic books. So I'd like draw out a story, and I wouldn't even write the words, but I'd know what's happening, and I'd narrate it to my mum, and I'd watch her reaction. I'd see where she loses interest, and when she loses interest, like I'd probably like start crying. But then like I guess those were the basic building blocks for being able to tell a story and keep people engaged through like storytelling, innit? So fast forward now, I go to school and I want to play football. I'm not good enough to play football professionally. And so there's a point where it's like, I actually clocked that because I had a trial at like a good club, which I finagled anyway. I should have never been in that trial because I was never good enough to be there in the first place. It was so bad. It's so funny because,
Palace?
bro, I'm not saying any names unless they're dropping the bread, fam.
We're in Chelsea, is it?
Oh yeah.
We've all been kicked out of Chelsea.
Yeah, he's been kicked out of Chelsea, bro.
Mad, bro.
No, not me.
I got kicked out
I
of
didn't
nowhere,
get
bro.
accepted to
And look
Chelsea.
at this belly. You think I'm getting into
Man, yeah, I was trying to ball, man. I was really out here trying to ball, but
Man.
boy, it was so funny, bro, because you know them one you know those memes where it's like, do you ever wonder how this got here? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was me on the football pitch, bro. Like, do you ever wonder how I got here? Because these guys, I should have never been on the same pitch as these guys. I was in a different pay grade.
my brother was like, he was like the best footballer in our school in Australia.
Yeah,
Like he was the captain of the first team.
yeah,
Like he was the guy. in
Yeah.
football. Everyone, he was known as like had like colours, which was like a thing they do in Australia. Where it's
okay,
like you're pretty much not a prefect, but like you're like a big deal. In
Yeah,
school. So
yeah.
he's like the best footballer.
yeah,
So like my first day in year 7, yeah. It's like the football, we're doing like football trials or whatever.
this is here, yeah,
No, this is in Australia.
in Australia.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, they look at my name, they're like, Harvey Smethurst. And I was like, yeah, yeah. They're like, so you're George's brother? And I was like, yeah. They're like, okay, you go to the A team.
Oh,
I swear,
snap.
I was there for one game and they kicked me out. It was so I scored a goal and they're like, no, I don't think you're built for this team. I went down to like the B team.
Yeah,
Damn.
I was D team sitting.
I mean, in the ends, I wasn't sick, bro, but I was like, in terms of like school football and stuff.
Did you go to like a small primary school or something? Like
No.
Oh, okay.
I went to like quite a decent sized primary school, decent sized high school. I was all right within school, bro. Like I was balling out in school. Do you see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the difference between school football and professional football
Yeah.
is a chasm, bro. It's humongous. Does your brother still play football?
Yeah, he plays in Australia. Though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, did he ever play here?
Yeah, he did play for Met Police. So like, they were.
You skipped the Chelsea part.
Yeah, he was in Chelsea Academy for a
Okay.
bit. And then he got kicked out, and then he was in Southampton. He went through like all sorts of
Yeah.
scouts, but then we moved to Australia, and
Okay.
then he played for like this team in South Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because when I was at this team that I shall not name, there was a baller that was Australian. He was hard as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's mad.
So
So
I
anyway,
thought I would've
origin
been your
story.
brother.
You're on the football pitch, 2-foot slide tackle, you're lying in the mud, and you're like, this is not for me. What happens next, bruv?
So yeah, man's lying down thinking, yo, this is mad. And I've always loved like creativity, making things. I never stopped like making comic books and drawing and stuff. My favorite part of like FIFA every year was creating my own player and putting together a team and stuff like that. And I then thought, yo, I like films, I like stories, but I don't like reading. Like, how can I get involved in films without actually how can I get involved in storytelling without having to read or write like a lot? And then I discovered screenwriting, and I didn't know this was a job at that point in time, but I just went, this is so weird because I don't know what made me so brazen to actually do this, but I went, I bought Sid Field's screenplay,
Jeez.
and I got Celtics, and
Jeez.
maybe like I did some like free online courses on script writing or whatever, but mainly it was just Sid Field and Celtics. Yeah,
Celtics is good, fam.
serious, free as well.
Yeah.
This is back when it was the desktop version as well. So I downloaded the desktop version and I had it on my computer and stuff. Now it's all online. But and then I started I started writing like these films that were basically knockoffs of what I was watching at the time. I was watching like Luther, True Detective, like Breaking Bad, blah blah blah. So I'd be writing these like edgy, like detective, this, that, and I'm thinking, yo, this is the hardest thing ever. Print that off, take that to school, give it to my English teacher, like, yo, serious, read that. This is serious. But they were dead, and they were probably massively fraudulent. But that's where I started. So I'd come in like every week, new script, and it's so funny because I give it in, I think, yo, this is the coldest script ever
No
written.
way it could be bad.
And then they'll be giving me notes here that were valid notes, but I'm thinking, yo, you lot just don't know. You lot just don't know. You don't see the vision. So I'm doing this. I'm like, yo, okay, I'm gonna do this in the future. And then it comes time for me to go to uni, and I'm like, I'm gonna do like film or some form of writing course and stuff. So I apply for English Lit with creative writing or English Lit with film studies and stuff. And I get into uni to study English Lit with creative writing. Go to uni, doing a lot of like screenplays and stuff. And in my first year of university, I lived with an Egyptian international student, an Egyptian international student, and I meet all of his friends, and his best friend at the time was a fugitive from Egypt. And his story was that basically in Egypt they have a lot of like political protests, and there's a lot of like political unrest and stuff, and a lot of young people are very like politically active. And so at that point in time, a lot of the young people were protesting, and he wasn't even a part of the protest on that day, but he was found near the protest and arrested. They saw in his bag that he was actually an artist as well, so he was like a graffiti artist. Went on his phone, saw his politically active art, and they basically made an example of him. So they took him out to the desert, left him there for a week. He only had a water bottle. He was in a room like mad small, hundreds of people. They ate, they slept, they went to the toilet in the same place. They didn't eat. They slept, went to the toilet in the same place. God. He had his one water bottle. And he's telling me the story, and he's actually, at this point, he's a year younger than me. But he's in university because he skipped a year because he had to leave Egypt or whatever, yeah. And he's actually a student at Central St. Martin's at this point, which is like one of the best arts universities in London. And I'm like, yo, me and my boys, we don't vote because we can't be bothered, or do you know what I'm saying? But you're actually out here risking your life in real time because of this, like, this political situation that you care about, and all of these other young people in your country care about as well. And so my thought process is always, I want to make things for my friends, or I want to make things for the people that are immediately around me. And I think that was a story that I felt like I wanted to tell for the people that are around me. So I made a documentary about him, really short. It was like 2 minutes, 3-minute documentary, just about him outlining his story and like what happened, and like the metaphor of what the water bottle meant to him, because that water bottle was so precious to him because everything else had been taken away from him, and that water bottle became everything to him. He slept on the water bottle. It was a sustenance. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was called like a water bottle, and I made that documentary about him. And that was the first film that I ever made, and it was actually a documentary. And then I wrote some scripts. I made another short film, really dead short film that no one's ever gonna see. I thought it was sick. I did the screening and everything for it. And then
I've been there, bro. I've been there.
Effort
days, bro.
It's and then after that I made 3 more short films in uni, and my friends who basically make music had seen my films, and then I just started making like music videos from there. And here we are now. Word of mouth and whatnot has taken us this far.
That's crazy, man.
It's quite similar to like I had like ADHD when I was a kid, and I've undiagnosed dyslexic. You know, it's one of those things where I just know, like, I can read a book. Like, even Raz's mum's like, she's like, I can tell I'm diagnosed with ADHD. Like, I know you're dyslexic. And Raz knows it. Like, he'll show me something and I can't read it. So like, that was exactly the same with me. I wanted to be some sort of writer. I like writing, like, I used to write books, and my nan would like put them in. She'd make them like an actual book.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then I got to a point where I was like, I can't even read a book. How am I going to write a book properly? I'd start reading a book and then I'd give up because I just found it so difficult. I'd spend so much time on like one page. And like, everyone around me in class, like, we'd have to do like reading time or some bullshit like that. And I'd read like 2 pages. Everyone was like chapters. And I was like, I need to figure out what. And then same thing. sounds like filmmaking and script
Yeah.
writing. And then it's funny because like I was gonna make a film about like someone who's like that. I
Okay.
never did because I don't know. I have that habit of doing stuff and then not finishing it.
Yeah.
It's very similar to like how I started.
Yeah.
But I think it's quite common. I was saying this to the other day actually to my family. Like most very successful artists are people who have like ADHD, dyslexia, because they're so distant from the way the educational system puts you in a box.
Yeah. Right.
So I always felt like I hated school. I hated every moment of it.
Oh, really?
I couldn't tell you one thing I liked about school.
Mad. Not even the social parts.
I liked the school trips. That was it.
Okay.
Because we weren't doing schoolwork.
Yeah.
Like seeing the world and
Yeah.
And like, but like I didn't like any of my subjects. I liked English once because we did film studies, and then that's when I was like, okay, I like this. And like a bit of photography and art lessons. But like, I think the reason why I'm an artist now and I love it so much is because everyone at school was making fun of me because I was getting ones in my predicted grades or whatever. That I was literally getting ones.
Okay.
I was predicted a 1, which is looking back at it.
It doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
I had letters, but a 1 doesn't sound like something you want.
One
It's
is
you.
like the lowest grade you can
Yeah.
get.
Mad.
And that's why I think like a lot of people, like I've heard like will.i.am as well, he was saying that because the educational system just makes you do this, makes you do that, and then it's like a school, college, university, entry-level job. And when you like distance yourself from that and try and see something else from a different angle, you see so much more. Like your dad was saying to me last night, right now we're looking at this sofa, we can see this sofa, looks great. You look at it from the behind, it's a whole nother thing on the back of the sofa. Once you get a different view of something, i.e. life, or your career, it's a whole different journey. People still, because they're sort of stuck in that school system, they still try to dig in and be like, no, this is the right way, this is the right way, you're doing it wrong. Because they're sold to it.
It's rigid. It's the rigidness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say to you actually, your origin story reminds me a lot of Ryan Coogler's origin story.
Is it?
I don't know if you've ever heard his.
I just know you used to play sport, innit?
Yeah. So he was in college trying to be an NFL player, and he's again like wasn't really good enough, and he started doing a creative writing course in his college, and his teacher was like read his stuff and was like, "Yo, you'd be a good screenwriter. You should try it out." So he literally went to the store and got a CD-ROM of Pulp Fiction script, and he just started copying it, like you know.
Yeah.
And then started doing his own stuff, and he loved it so much he applied to USC, RIP, and got onto a master's course, and then like it's just mad how it snowballs from there, you know, like that path.
Yeah, I think like we were saying the other day, so one of our friend, like our good friend in Seattle, he was meant to come here in June. Obviously, that
Corona
ended up happening. But like all the things that have happened since then, leading up to us going to like Australia to make this feature film, like had he have come in June, this probably wouldn't have been happening. Had you have not been on the football pitch and been next to, I don't know, like some next baller who's playing now, if you'd not seen them, you wouldn't have maybe never even realised you wanted to.
Yeah, had I not
True.
decided at 4 a.m. to go on Instagram Live with Matt and John,
Yeah.
I would never have
random,
met
boy.
you. Like this would have never happened.
And the funnier thing about that is, depending on how my day went that day, I might not have even been online, or
Yeah.
I might not have even been in the mood to
Exactly.
hit a random kid up. On
Yeah, like,
the gram,
what-
do you know what I'm saying?
Even you said when you DM me, bro, you were like, the fact that I'm DMing you now, like I don't do this, bro. Like no one does this.
Yeah, word.
3 at DM someone at 3 a.m. in the morning, bro. Like,
Yeah, that was mad random. I don't even. I just do things. I just don't remember them.
yeah.
I don't remember how that conversation went. I just know that we're here now.
Remember you called me after that?
Is it?
Yeah, you were like, there was a few times you call me sometimes, and like the worst. You called me at 5 o'clock in the morning one time because Barry Jenkins said his name on the live.
That's a 5 o'clock call
Yeah.
warranting
Yeah.
situation though, right?
Yeah.
But
Well-
it was actually the day we finished writing Who Owns the Spot. It was
Yeah.
that day, and we were already staying up till like 3 or whatever. And same thing happened when you were on live with Matt and John. We
Yeah.
were saying the other day, the amount of gifts Matt and John.
Yeah, wallahi fam. Like that Matt John's getting the first thanks in my short film tables, bro, because almost so many. I think most of the major contacts I have I've met this guy this many times or less, and all of my major contacts have come through him.
Yeah.
Being in an environment where he was. There's something about that guy, and we're trying to get him as the next episode. But there's something about
He'll
that
be
guy.
wavy.
Bro. He's special, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. That cool when I called Harvey, like after going online with Matt Ajard and DMing you after. That was just mad, bruv. Like I had so many moments like that. I was saying to Harvey actually the other day on FaceTime, it's so important to have someone you can make that call to. Like when you have that moment where you're just like, you need to like get so much shit out because it's overflowing. Having someone like that, I value it so much.
That's true. That's yeah. That's invaluable. That is invaluable.
Do you have that person?
That's what I'm trying to think now, bro.
But we're always here for you, innit? Like if you don't want to FaceTime, like
this one's getting deeper, bro.
I mean, we can give out numbers.
Yeah.
Word.
No,
yeah. What do I do?
I think because like we're all on like a road to get like Raz and I have been on this road for. I mean, I met you 2 years ago.
Yeah, in 2016 we became friends in 20.
That's mad. You don't seem like you've known each other for forever.
Again, like the way we met is even crazier, bro. Like,
the way we met is kind of weird.
But like we were both out of education for an entire year for our own like personal reasons in different countries. Grown up in the UK, coming back to the UK, happened to move to the same area, same time, starting the same school. Yeah. We weren't friends for the entire year of year 10. Like he didn't rate me. Yeah, and because I was like an attention-seeking type youth, and he was like had his shit together, yeah. And
I would say that.
but like then in a changing room in year 11, at the start of year, he's talking to a mutual friend who was in between us, and he's like, Zach
is an even crazier story.
And Zach's a cold guy as well. He has his own podcast.
The way I met Zach, so. This is like insane. We even spoke about this the other day. Like, it's actually crazy how me and Zach are friends. So Zach's this guy who came when I came back from Australia. The teacher's like, yeah, this guy lived in Australia too. Turns out I used to play football against him.
Oh really?
Yeah, in Australia.
Mad.
It's crazy how that. And then like.
These two people are talking in a changing room, and then
that's so funny. Yeah. All the way across the globe.
Exactly.
In the same class or whatever.
It's mad. And then. So Zach asked Harvey, "Oh, yo, what do you want to do when you're older?" And I just hear Harvey say, "I don't know. I think I want to be like a film producer." And I'm like,
"I didn't even know what a film producer is."
Yeah, and I'm like, "Yo, do you want to be a filmmaker?" And he's like, "Yeah, you too." And I was like, "Yeah, fam, yeah, I'm making a short film. Like, you should come help me." And like, that was it, fam.
Yeah.
And like, this guy.
Like, imagine if, like Zach's mum didn't get a new job.
Yeah.
And didn't come back from Australia. Or my dad didn't get a new job and come back here. Or, I don't know, like, me not even getting in the right... Because, like, you know, I was not very smart, but I was in set 3. Should have been in set 4, but they put me in set 3 because they were nice to me. If I was in set 4, I'd never even been in that change room.
In the same change room, yeah.
Yeah.
So many things that line up. You can't... It just doesn't make sense to be an accident. It doesn't. Like, I don't find...
Well, do you think that's divine design?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's all written. It's just like they say that. Have you seen Raz don't like the film, but Synecdoche Keenan.
No, I do like it.
Yeah, they say like your future is written in your past.
Okay, what film is this?
It's
Have you heard of Charlie Kaufman?
Charlie Kaufman. Yeah. What did he do? Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah, Being John Malkovich.
Yeah, I watched that as well.
Yeah. He's cold.
Yeah.
He's a really good writer, but this is. I don't know if it's directorial debut, but one of the few films he's written and directed, and it's deep. It's like the most deep film.
Like...
It's like Tenet, but it makes sense. It's like Tenet levels of deep, but there's a purpose to it. You know what I mean? Like
I feel you. What you man weren't feeling Tenet?
And this is like the we don't rate Tenet party, bro. This guy just gave me some vitriol about Tenet. Like
I came out of it loving it, and I don't know what I feel like. This Christopher Nolan put crack in his films, like. So many complaints, but I still loved it.
I said crack.
You want more, but
yeah.
Like I loved it, but I had so many complaints about that film.
You know what? I think like, listen. Let me preface it like this. Yeah, my 3 goats in film. Yeah, are Hayao Miyazaki, Barry Jenkins, Christopher Nolan, right?
Barry Jenkins go.
Word. But that being said, Tenet, I did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it. I didn't see the point. I feel like it felt like somebody making a parody of a Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah.
He's trying so hard to make another Inception, and they just ruined it.
Man.
Ruined
That being said, bro, that's my goat. So if he wants to hit me up or anything,
Yeah.
like, man's still here, bro. I hear it.
It's crazy how, like, I was saying this to Harvey, we established who we love and like and are inspired by in the world, and somehow I feel like gravitation towards all of them suddenly. Like Harvey
Yeah.
and Instagram Live, I'm telling you, it's the most powerful tool in the world, yeah?
Mm.
Harvey registered to go live with Rain Dance Film Festival
Okay.
near the start of quarantine, yeah?
Mm.
And they accept him. He goes live with Elliot Groves, who's like the head of Rain Dance. He invented Rain Dance Film Festival.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, and these men have just
Yeah,
become
big up
G's.
Elliot, though.
Yeah. So what's on the live? He's like, oh yeah, Harvey's telling him about Who on the Spot. He's like, you remind me back in the day of my good friend Christopher Nolan when he was making his first feature film.
Must
The
have his good
Following,
friend
and, like,
Christopher Nolan.
yeah, he filmed it in my office over there, and like, yeah, he's a great guy. You remind me just of him. And I'm like, I'm sitting there like, you trying to make a link, bro? Like, it's crazy, bro.
Bro, his thing is different. And you know what? One thing that I'll say though that I love about Christopher Nolan, and it's something that I take into my filmmaking, yeah, it is the way in which he brings his world to life. Like, bro is not on the green screen.
Yeah,
thing.
well,
Everything that you see is not on cap, bro.
Yeah.
He's really crashing aeroplanes. Man are flying up walls. Like the corridor in Inception that's spinning. That's real life, bro. These men are in like. And I think it does something to the crew. It does something to the cast when they're actually physically immersed in the situation. It makes it enjoyable. It brings like the magic back to filmmaking.
Yeah.
There's a story of like, I think his name's Ian McKellen, the Magneto brother.
Yeah.
But he also plays Gandalf.
Yeah.
I think when he was playing Gandalf, I ain't watched the Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah,
I feel like they're mad long and blah,
Yeah,
blah,
well,
blah.
it's
Anyway,
fun,
but there's a
yeah.
story about him, basically crying on set when he's like just surrounded by green screen.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is not what I got into acting for, and this
Yeah.
is that.
I don't.
It is kind of funny though,
Yeah.
like to bring a grown man to tears. But at the same time, bro, at the same time, it's a real sentiment. Like,
No, yeah, I get that.
do you know what I'm saying?
They're like, fuck it up, bro. Like, we paid you a lot of money. Like,
These men are thinking, yo, why is he crying, bro, in the green screen?
like, and it's like, the another thing is, in this industry, you get called pretentious if you like have an issue with it. Like, I've said, like, when you say like, oh, I want to do this, like, just normal. It's not even a big thing. Like, I want to do a car shot, and they're like, why can't you do it in a studio in a green screen? You're like, I don't know. I just want to put people in the car, you know.
Yeah.
And people are like, I know you want to be like Christopher Nolan or like.
But this
somebody,
is
like,
this is the thing as well. It comes to also being able to articulate when someone asks you that question. It's
Yeah.
like, why do I like that? And you need to go within yourself and break it down, and that's how you grow as a director as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it comes down to communication. Like, I can want this idea, and I know it's the best idea, and you know it's the best idea, and it's
Yeah.
intuitive. But I need to make sure that I communicate to these other people why this is the best idea.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just as much about communicating that as well.
Yeah.
But boy, I don't know how Christopher Nolan finagles his thing, but
Yeah.
I feel
I'm
like
trying to be like that.
The way I love the way Barry Jenkins directs. Like, there's just the way he does it is so like. He almost tries to. The one thing I want to do when I'm doing not Who Wants to Spot, but the film after, is just make sure everyone's trying to figure out what it means.
Right.
Like on the deeper level.
Mm.
They know what's happening, but I want them to figure out what it means. And I feel like that's what Barry Jenkins does with his actors. He does that thing where he's trying to get them to ask the questions.
Okay.
I heard him say this one time where he was like, it's like, you know, the beach scene, and then like Chiron and I forget the other guy's name.
Kevin.
Yeah, they're on the beach and he's saying like, oh, is this like? I think the guy who plays Kevin's going like, this is Chiron's first kiss, and then he like doesn't say anything. So first kiss of like he's saying it's his first ever kiss, but he was like, is this the first time he's kissed a man? And then he's like, he just the way he says I don't say anything. Just letting them.
Barry didn't answer. Then Barry said,
Yeah.
I asked him, what do you think?
Mm.
Well, then the guy was like, I get it now.
Right.
And
That's
that hit
wavy.
me. Because sometimes you're on set, you're like, more action.
Yeah.
I was on this, like when I was running for this advert, I just hear the director like shout from behind, like, "Whoa, more!" Like, whoa,
More energy this time.
yeah, energy up. But like,
More energy.
yeah, but like when you go into the philosophy of it, like this guy's trying to like make someone think and feel something internally. You have to like find out how their brain works. You know?
Yeah, and I think that's a really cool thing, and it's a good place for you guys to even get to now as well, and for me to understand it's that you don't have to have all the answers. It's not. Sometimes it's even better to not have the answers, and sometimes someone else is gonna have an answer that's better than the answer that you might have even come up with as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like, I think that's what you see in the people that like. There's probably a level of like, I'm figuring it out. Oh, I'm here. Everyone expects me to know everything, so I'm pretentious. And then you clock, yo, I don't know everything. And then you dive back into the mystery of filmmaking. And it's like a collaborative experience because everyone's kind of trying to figure this out. I do think there is a necessity to have certain immovable, like, no, this is this.
Yeah.
And stand upon certain things, because when it's too vague, no one can actually stand upon your ideas and believe in you and trust you, because it's like, bro, you don't look like you know what you're doing either.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I think there's like a certain level of, okay, I know this, I think this, but what do you think? And I think that's when it also becomes enjoyable for everyone else, because they're involved in it rather than being a tool.
Yeah, and I think like, especially when you're starting out, there's this kind of feeling like, someone's gonna come on set and just like drill me and ask me some questions, and I know they're gonna be trying to suss me out, and they're gonna ask me one question I'm not gonna have the answer to, and that's it, game over, film's done, you know. But when you have that level of accountability, like no one really knows like what the finished film is gonna be, and we're trying to make the audience ask questions, not answer questions for them, and in doing so we have to do that ourselves. As long as you understand like your principles and why you're making the film, then if someone asks you like why is this happening, you'll be like, let's work it out, you know? And that's okay, you know.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah,
sometimes I write things and I don't even know what they mean, but I know it means something. It's just like those like I said yesterday, I think you guys were like going to the park, and we were sitting down watching like West Ham game or whatever, I think it was, and I was like, just something inside me, I was like, I don't know if I want to go to the park. I just didn't feel like it. Everyone was going, no, don't be boring. I was like, no, I don't feel like it. And then like halfway through I'm watching the game, I'm sitting there, and I was thinking like, why didn't I want to go to the park? Raza's dad comes to here and just sits, and then we were talking a bit of half media stuff because he's involved a bit. He was talking about some of the supplies and stuff, and then we just got into some next conversation, which I think is going to just flick my mentality for the rest of my life. Yeah, it's just that one thing was telling me, just stay here. Yeah, just something like, and I don't know what to call it, but it's the same when I'm writing scripts. I called you up after work one day and I was like, yo, I just came up with this idea where like, because we've spoken about some things, we have like all these different sort of metaphors, but I was like, imagine a scene where he's just looking at this stick going through a river on some journey that he can't control, and I wanted to do that.
That's a deeper one.
And then obviously Raza came and said, yeah, you should do this as well, and like that's why it all full circle back to like having someone to call up and be like, yo, just had this, what do you think? Yeah. Who's on the same wavelength?
Yeah, someone who's not going to approach it with entitlement, because I stopped getting notes from a lot of people now. Like, I only ask for very few people's opinions now. Yeah. Because I realize like everyone's got 2 cents, you know. But like when you ask someone like, what do you think of this thing, and they're like, you should do this and this and this and then like they start, you know, like trying to make it theirs. You're gonna lose honesty. So having someone who understands what your intentions are and is delicate enough to, you know, go with what you are as a person, that's important.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But like even so, like I think the reason why I stopped trying to get as many notes is like sometimes I will, like if I'm writing a script and I'm like, I'll be like to my mum, like, yeah, I think you might like this. Like, do you want to read it? She's like, yeah, I want to read your scripts, but you never give them to me. Because sometimes I would rather you see the film. But I said the next one I'd like you to read it because I think you might like it. But I tend not to ask anyone for feedback because I realized this in school and when we were at Elam, like the more and more people who get into your film, the less and less it becomes about. It's connected to you. becomes a whole everybody else film. And like we were saying this the other day, like Raza thinks like films like Fast and Furious just shouldn't be made.
No, that's
It's a bit
cap, man.
hardcore.
Where would we be without Fast and
It's a
Furious?
hardcore way to put it. Nah.
Yeah. I don't know how.
I think there's room for them. I think
Yeah.
there's room for them, but it's a different
No,
type.
no.
of...
You were saying you couldn't make it.
Yeah. I couldn't do that.
Because it's not you, and I feel like that is.
Do you know what I think the most interesting thing would be to, like, that'd be a challenge, bro.
Yeah.
What would the Raws of Fast and Furious film look like?
I don't even know anyone knows what a Raza film looks like as it is,
Yeah.
bro. Let alone a Raza
But
film.
I'm saying, bro, what if it's like a Raws of Fast and Furious film, yeah, but it's every moment between these big races and scenes, and you never see anyone actually drive a car.
Low-key, I say this with, I sound all pretentious and stuff, but I would love to make a Fast and Furious film. Like, I love cars growing up, and I'm not that into them now. I've started watching Formula 1 again, but
Yeah.
like, I'm into cars, you know? Actually, some guy's going to quiz me on my knowledge, I'm not going to be on it, but like, I love Lamborghinis and stuff, but like, I'm at the stage where I probably wouldn't own a Lamborghini, even if I could afford it.
Right.
Like, I feel like I'm vulnerable to materialistic tendencies, so I just try to stay away from it.
Okay.
But to make a film like that would actually be very interesting. But my Fast and Furious would be about like why everyone does it, you know? Like why did all of these people want a Lamborghini?
Yeah.
You know? Like why are all of these people like obsessed with just beating someone else in a race? That's what I'd be
asking the
interested.
bigger question.
That'd be so interesting.
Telling
Have
you,
you
bro.
seen have you seen Joe Talbot, Jimmy Fails' The Last Black Man?
Yeah, this guy loves it, man.
The Last Batman.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
Oh yeah, The Last Black Man in San
Yeah.
Francisco. Yeah, bro.
Like, we watched it again last night.
Hard film.
Yeah. But there's so many things that I didn't notice the first.
Yeah.
It's asking questions which lead to other questions and other questions and it's just that's the type of film I want to make.
There's a scene like because Archie's watching it for the first time, you know, Harvey, I'm watching it third time, second time, yeah, and like I'm just noticing like there's a scene where like this lady's sitting on the doorstep of the house which they're squatting in, and they come back and she's like, why are you here? And they're like, where do you come from? That's the interaction, and they have some conversation. If you watch it for the first time, you wouldn't notice this, but she said, why are you here? And they said, where do you come from? Do you understand like the deeper philosophical implications of those questions?
Yeah.
Like, and every scene has those moments, and I was like, raw.
It's that quote they said in there. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I feel bad, but like that thing, I didn't even notice it the first time. It's like probably the biggest question in the whole.
Yeah,
film.
there's a point where like they see a house knocked down, and then their friend is like, they're like, what happened to it? He's like, nothing is ever really yours.
You never really owned anything.
Yeah, you ain't never owned anything.
Or is that the guy that's driving the car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think like that could pass you by first time watching it.
Yeah.
But that's deep, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is by far gonna be our longest episode. I feel like we need to wrap it up soon, bro. Like,
How long have we been?
You might gotta edit that one down, boy.
It's calm.
yeah, hour and 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
We could go for another
I don't want to
20.
keep you for a while.
No, I'm cool, bro.
You're cool.
I'm just doing your thing, bro.
Cool,
I'll stop
cool.
talking when you tell me to stop talking.
I feel like, okay, one thing I want to talk about actually is your work. Yeah, I feel like we haven't talked about that enough. It's a disrespectfully small amount we've talked about that in this podcast, bro, compared to everyone else. But
The work is there, though, isn't it?
yeah.
For the
Let's
people
talk about
to
the Koji Radical McNasty video.
Yeah.
The last time we met was not too long ago.
Yeah.
And you said to me, oh, you had a meeting about this Koji Radical thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, right, so he's in talks to do that, and that will come out like in a while. And then
came
next
out
week, I
like
don't
2
take-
weeks later.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's quick. But yeah, how'd that come about, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, bro. So it came about through my friend Jess, who introduced me to McNasty because we were working on a music video called Young King, which was about particularly about uplifting and reframing the black male in the wake of the murder of George Floyd and various other like social issues that had come up at that point in time. So we shot it during quarantine or just off the back of quarantine, around the time when there was like a lot of protests and stuff like that. And I think it's just like, it's something that I made for my nephew because my nephew had just been born, and I kind of wanted to ask myself if I wanted to show him because he's a young black boy, what would I want to show him as an image of like who he can become or who he is, or do you know what I'm saying? What the possibilities that are out there for him. What possibilities did I not see of myself? Because anytime that I saw black people on screen, it was in a certain way. And so it was kind of like a video that sought to kind of reframe the black male and say, yo, anything's possible. Do you know what I'm saying? You can be like, for instance, like a technical dancer, who has a do-rag on, but they're dancing in ballet and their skin is golden and it's like so mythical and so far-fetched, so out there, but it's something that I've never seen before. A black man on a horse, for example,
Yeah.
two black people showing compassion to each other, whatever, so on and so forth. So anyway, I say that to say, Jess introduced me to McNasty. McNasty had this second track with Koji Radical, and he had seen Young King. Had he even seen Young King then? This is so funny because by the time I had finished making Young King, I met McNasty a week later and he says, yo, by the way, like, I haven't seen any of your work. Like, just send me through your work. I'm thinking, bro, I just like...
just done your
I
thing.
just did a video, first of all. He hadn't seen a draft of the video, to be fair. And then he was also talking to me about doing this next video with Koji Radical and stuff. I'm like, bro, you haven't seen anything. But he's like, no, I'm just a vibes man. Like, I like your vibe. We're gonna work together, innit? Like, I was like, say no more, innit? So yeah, and yeah, shout out to McNasty as well. Hard artist. He does this night called Fireball Sessions.
One of the coldest drummers in the UK. One of the nicest guys I've ever met as well.
Probably the coldest, fam.
Yeah, he's friends with Joe. Yusuf Day's giving him a run for his money slightly, but you know about Yusuf Days?
No, I don't know about Yusuf
Bro,
Days.
Yusuf Days is London.
I just know McNasty is my guy,
cool.
and he's a hard drummer.
By the way, you know Fireball Sessions in were you at Peckham Levels at that one?
I didn't go to that one.
Okay,
but
that was when I was at.
Every single Fireball Sessions, once it's back on, I'm going to it still.
We'll make that a motive.
100, let's roll.
Cool.
And everyone that's listening to this now as well, come through.
Everyone's invited, bro.
But yeah, he sent me the track. I've heard it, I thought, raw, this is kind of hard still. But he was like, yeah, the turnaround's like, it needs to come out on this date. And there was like a week and a half in between whenever. So I've listened to it and I thought, nah, this one here, I got the idea. Like, you know the ones where the idea just drops. So wrote up the treatment fast, sent it through, and they had actually sent it out to a couple directors as usual. So like when you're pitching on the music video, they'll usually send it to a couple directors and they'll pick whoever's idea they like best. And obviously we won the pitch, so I made the video. And the video, what it means to me is, it's an acknowledgement of everyone that feels othered, particularly the refugee, the immigrant, and the Windrush generation. And it follows the story of an immigrant, refugee, Windrush generation individual who is forced to assimilate by a foreign land. And so you watch throughout the video as he arrives and he's royal and he's got his jewelry on and he's feeling powerful, and all of these things are stripped away from him. They take away his material things, they give him a job, they treat him really badly, he experiences police brutality, they take his food away from him, he's subject to the whitewashing of his faith, and it eventually results in him having a breakdown at the end of it. And it's really like something that's inspired by my parents and seeing our rich culture, where I've come from in Ghana, and seeing how when they come here, they're not valued at all.
Yeah.
When they come here, they're treated in a way in which you wouldn't treat another person who's from here that you might value, for example. And so I just wanted to tell that story, and I wanted to kind of empathize with people that have had those experiences through this video.
Hella deep. And if you haven't seen the music video, you need to go and see it, bro, because it is cold.
All of Edem's work.
Pardon?
All of Edem's work.
Yeah, 100%.
Love.
So
Respect.
edemwornoo.tumblr.co.uk, is that it?
edemwornoo.tumblr.com.
.com, man.
Yeah.
I almost got it, bro.
Almost.
I almost got it.
But one day I'm gonna be able to get a proper website.
Come on,
bro.
you'll join us one day, fam.
One day. I'm just trying to be like you, man.
Go Daddy Wick style.
I'm just trying to be like you, man. I'm just trying to cut through at the moment. What I'm talking about. One day I'll be like you, man.
I can't lie, the £12 a month is kind of rough on the bank.
So like I'm here like on my last legs, fam.
Bro, I can't deal with another expenditure, bro.
Yeah.
Every time I see PayPal, it's like PayPal is just taking whatever. I'm thinking, oh, please.
These mics are giving me stress now because we've got 3 USB mics which are hella expensive, and only one of them can record on the laptop. So we're gonna have to find some solution because
this is a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 we're gonna have like bloody gigs here, or like Barry Jenkins here with like.
This is looking official to me, bro.
Yeah, like.
Look at the arms in that, bro.
This Dell laptop is running Windows 19.
The arms move, bro. Like, if there's a second guess, like, yo. See what I'm saying?
Transformers.
Yeah.
In disguise.
Trust me.
And on that note,
Do you think that's it? I don't know if that's the end. Because I just enjoy it. I feel like this is such a different.
yeah, but it
Episode.
is so different.
Is it?
I
We
prefer
always
it.
said this. We were like, for our first person episode, we're gonna have someone you have a natural conversation with, but we also know that it's gonna so easily be like a natural flowing conversation. Because on Zoom, it's like someone speaks and you're like, oh,
You're talking over people like all
Yeah.
the time, but you don't even realize it.
yeah, thingy. Like you're like, oh, and you just
Yeah.
you can't really have like a natural flowing conversation. It has to be more like Q&A. you know?
Yeah.
But you can also, the best thing about it as well is you can tell when someone's gonna
Yeah.
talk based on their body.
With a
language.
physical presence.
Yeah.
Like you say something, and I'm like, I know probably Edem has something to say now, you know, like
Right.
this. That
Yeah.
I can tell like the flow.
But when you're all there like looking in the camera, like waiting for
And
someone,
someone's like,
and you don't want it to be that awkward, like,
yeah.
okay, shall I go? Or?
No,
Yeah.
you go. You're like,
It's
And
like,
you oftentimes you're not like, well, it depends. Some people are probably more comfortable over Zoom, but I'm not. I
Yeah.
don't like it, bro. Like I can't see myself properly. Like the thing's too small. I'm just looking at myself. But then I'm looking at myself talking, and I'm like, hold on, I'm not making eye contact with
Yeah.
anyone, bro.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
and then you forget what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah, it's sort
it's
of
crazy though. The whole like Zoom thing, just like even we use it so much now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Zoom though. They did come
Yeah,
through
they
clutch.
did.
Yeah.
The
They
way it came
really
out of
did.
Nowhere, like,
Yeah,
Out of nowhere.
Never heard that before. Like, I don't
It-
trust it slightly
yeah.
the way it came out of nowhere.
And it's
Yeah,
it's-
true. And they
they're sponsoring the Premier League now, bro.
really.
In the sides, you see Zoom.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shout out to Zoom, man.
They saw it coming, I'm telling you.
Cash
Them man
increase, bro.
rubbed out Skype.
yeah.
Yeah.
Finished them.
I remember when someone was like, "Yo, we can do a Skype like my work. They do. We're gonna do a Skype meeting," and I was like,
I'm
Skype?
I'm glad we
Who's
got
on
rid of Skype, bro, because my Skype, and I didn't know how to change it, was X-Blaze424. I was having meetings with
Mine was
X-
legit
X-Blaze.
177.
I was having meetings with established DOPs and producers with X-Blaze424, and like, I'm glad we got rid of that.
There's
to
no
be
rules
honest,
to this,
bro.
man.
Mine was legit 177. I will never
Well,
forget that.
Legit 177.
Yeah.
Or was it legitimately 177?
No, just legit.
Legit.
Damn.
Words
bro.
legit, then 177.
Why 177?
I don't know, to be honest. I must have just like
So
just
gang.
found some random.
Yeah.
Mm. I mean, we can wrap it up now. But
Yeah,
I
bro.
just feel like this conversation is really like the way it flows.
I feel like there's gonna be a part 2 of this. I can't lie.
Yeah,
We're gonna
vibes,
come
bro.
back.
I need to go away and grind and then come back.
Yeah,
and
we're gonna
have
come
something
back
to talk
after
about.
after Who Owns the Spot. After we come back from Australia,
Australia
we're
vibes.
all like
Little
looking
tan.
tanned and lovely. We're gonna come back.
Probably not
So-
me.
so
though.
wave.
I
Yeah,
never
we're gonna
get
come
to-
back with
I
a
lived
film.
there for my whole childhood, and I was never tanned.
Is it?
Crazy.
Yeah, I never tanned.
Them man, they have a hole in their ozone layer, though, innit?
What?
What do you mean?
Is
Over
that- actually-
Australia.
Is that actually?
Have a what?
A hole in the ozone layer above Australia.
Yeah, so the UV rays are very strong in that.
Yeah.
Really?
Bare
Not,
Is that why
not good
skin
for your-
cancers-
Yeah.
I'm scared now.
No, I don't think it will affect you
Yeah,
if you
you
go
guys
there
have got a
for.
lot of
Come on, look how I'm built, fam. Genetics. Yeah. On that note,
Yeah, I mean, thanks for like.
how many
doing
times
it.
have I said on that note in
Yeah.
this podcast?
No
bro?
word.
Like-
Bro's been trying to wrap up from the
yeah.
jump. As soon as I jumped on the
We're
mic, I said
hungry,
on that
bro.
note.
We're hungry. My Nando's 40% discount is calling me. 20% discount.
40% is very different from 20%.
Ex-employee, bruv. Yeah, on the weekend it's 20%. We'll still make it work, though.
No, I love for having me, you man. This
Yeah.
has been a deeper conversation,
Love for
bro.
coming down,
you man
bro.
have a you man make me excited to make things. Like I want to go home and write again.
Bruv, you make me excited to make
Love,
things,
bro.
bro. Come on, let's shake hands, man.
Respect,
Give a round
respect.
of applause for Archie on the camera.
Yeah, well done,
Shout out
man.
to you on
Alright.
the camera.
Woo!
Yeah, thanks again. Thanks for like coming and doing it.
No problem,
Being
Yeah.
our
bro.
first like in-person guest. I feel like later on it's gonna.
It's gonna be evolved. We're
It
gonna look
will.
back on this and laugh and be like, wow, look at those guys.
Yeah.
Like, look at what we've done now.
And
you know?
Russ still trying to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Word.
And on that note,
Come on, baby.
£5, £10 note.
Yeah,
Come on.
Funny joke.
thank you.
Cool.
What do I press here now?
And this is the most dangerous part, yeah, 'cause if we
Okay.
start recording, like I stopped recording, I don't know how to. I haven't done this part before.
Hope you guys enjoyed that episode of the HUFTCAST with Edem. Be sure to check out all the other episodes as well, and to check out the social medias at Huft Media on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. And yeah,